Yo, what is up guys, Delboy here, aka Blue Collar Sports TV. Hopefully you guys are doing well. If you're new here, smash that like, hit subscribe, all of that good stuff. So following Tyson Fury's defeat to Alexander Usyk, I think it's fair to ask the question, where did it all go wrong for Tyson Fury? Not so much in regards to the fight with Alexander Usyk per se, but in regards to his career. I followed Tyson Fury for many years, basically since he turned pro in 2008. Initially, he was fighting on channels in the UK like ITV4, etc. And I was always entertained by his fights early on. As he progressed throughout his pro career, I started to see a real talent there in Tyson Fury. And by the time he beat Vladimir Klitschko, I felt we were maybe seeing a generational talent in Tyson Fury. However, of course, since the Vladimir Klitschko fight, we know what happened. Ballooned up in weight, inactivity, problems with drugs, etc. So many problems. And of course, at one point, it looked like Tyson Fury was never coming back. And on his comeback, many of us, including myself, really questioned what that time out the ring would do to Tyson Fury, but more importantly, what he was doing to his body, how that would affect Tyson Fury in his comeback. To his credit, he came back and obviously he has made some noise since, beat Wilder a couple of times, had that trilogy, really good memories in those trilogies, got a good knockout over Dillian Whyte. But overall, I felt since Tyson Fury's come back, I have felt that the matchmaking has been very selective. I felt that the matchmaking has been quite cynical in many ways, trying to age out Alexander Usyk, trying to always look for the least path of resistance, fights like Francis Ngannou, Tom Schwarz, Derek Chisora for a third time, Otto Wallin, which was a cherry pick that nearly went wrong, etc. And, for me, Tyson Fury on his comeback has played the businessman rather than the sportsman. And don't get me wrong, there's always been that element to his career, like even prior to Vladimir Klitschko, there was the David Price scenario where he basically ducked David Price. I know Price never turned out to be anything, but at the time, Price was seen as like the next up-and-comer. The Fury fight was big and it never happened, and, most people blame Tyson Fury. But Fury really, on his comeback, has really kind of lent into that entitled sort of Floyd Mayweather approach, picking and choosing, not giving the fights the fans want when they want them, etc. And like I said, he's been constantly looking for the least path of resistance. And I felt the Alexander Usyk fight was basically a microcosm of Tyson Fury's recent career. Because for me, while Tyson Fury at times was impressive against Usyk, particularly rounds 4, 5 and 6, I felt Fury was really trying to con the viewer and the judges in that fight with the constant showboating, the posturing, the body language, I felt he was trying to convey an image that he was always in control without being in control, because I think he realised what was in front of him in Alexander Usyk. I think he realised that the pace Usyk was setting was going to be a difficult challenge, and one of his main kind of focuses was to convey the image that he was in control without really being in control. And I felt that's what the showboating was about. Again, it's almost like looking for the least path of resistance, trying to steal rounds by fun and games and trying to steal the fight. I mean, after the fight, he felt he said he did enough to win. He felt he won. I mean, maybe he was concussed. I mean, he said Happy New Year during the post-fight interview. Maybe he was concussed. He certainly needs to watch the fight back to assess it and get better. But, I mean, how he thought he won that fight was crazy. And coming out with a statement that Usyk was favoured because Ukraine are at war was a ridiculous statement to make when you consider the money on the line between Anthony Joshua and Tyson Fury. And of course, where was that favouritism when Vasily Lomachenko got robbed against Devin Haney? Where was that goodwill then? Tyson Fury just strikes me as a very entitled fighter. He's been politically protected in boxing for a while now, ever since his comeback. And he got comfortable with that. He felt he was entitled to win this fight without winning it, you know? And I felt that showed in the fight. I felt Tyson Fury's career moves manifested in this fight, you know? Fury had a bad start in my opinion. I felt Usyk outboxed him. First 3 rounds, Usyk was up. Fury came back, had a great round 4, great round 5, great round 6, probably won round 7 as well. At that point in time, 7 rounds, I felt Fury was up. Fury was in control. But the moment Usyk got back into that fight by shattering Fury's nose, I saw the same look in Fury's eyes that I saw in Deontay Wilder's eyes in the second fight with Fury. Deer in the headlights, didn't know what to do. There's resistance. Real resistance. Fury couldn't cope because he's been protected. He's been carefully managed. And when the time come, he couldn't cope. Usyk hasn't been protected. He's fought everywhere, away from home, tough fighters, you know, champions, etc., in their backyards. Usyk hasn't been protected like that. He's been fighting top competition back to back to back to back to back since the Krzysztof Glowacki fight. He knows what it takes. He knows what resistance feels like, you know, and he knows how to get through a crisis moment, and he knows how to get through bad moments in fights. Fury, he's been too carefully managed, in my opinion, and he's become entitled. I felt the political protection that he's had put him in a false sense of security, and Usyk took advantage, in my opinion. And for me, you know, when I look at Tyson Fury, I just get frustrated because, like I said, after the Vladimir Klitschko fight, I saw a generational type talent, but Fury never really kicked on, obviously. Yo-yoing in weight, not taking care of himself outside the ring. Even since his comeback, he's yo-yoed in weight. Like, imagine if Fury took the game seriously and trained all the time, and ticked over all the time, didn't fluctuate in weight, was more active, fighting better competition, you know, on a more regular basis. Who knows how good Tyson Fury could have been. When you look at it, I don't think Tyson Fury gave himself the best chance of winning this fight. You know, fighting Francis Ngannou before this fight, crazy. I know there's a lot of money on the line, but I don't think Tyson Fury gave himself the best possible chance of winning this fight with Alexander Usyk. And, you know, I'm sure this is going to be a shock to the system of Tyson Fury, this first loss, or first official loss. And we'll see how he comes back from it. Will he come back stronger? Will it make him train even harder? We shall see. Is there even going to be a rematch? We don't know. But hopefully Tyson Fury does take it to heart, and hopefully it makes him train harder, you know, because there were moments in that fight with Usyk I was really impressed with Tyson Fury. It's clear he trained hard for this fight, but I just felt he probably left it a little too late to get serious. You can't have like a year, 18 months of doing absolutely nothing, fighting bums and MMA fighters, and then going into this fight. It doesn't work. It doesn't work. You can't do that against a guy like Usyk. But yeah, there's things Tyson can build on in this fight. You know, like I said, rounds 4, 5 and 6 is the best I've seen Tyson Fury look for a considerable amount of time. I felt he looked really good in those rounds. And even in the early rounds where he was losing, I felt he was moving well. You know, he looked quick, he looked mobile. He actually looked like he was punching pretty hard even throughout this fight, Tyson Fury. So there was aspects of Tyson Fury's performance that I actually quite rated. I was quite impressed with, because I was wondering whether Fury maybe really on the slide. I still think he's past his best, but this fight kind of showed me he's got more left than maybe I gave him credit for. But now it's up to Fury to train hard and really put his all in for maybe like the last 12 months, 24 months of his career, because he can still salvage it. There's no doubt. The talent is there, the quality is there, It's whether the application is there, in my opinion. And yeah, I've just felt the soft matchmaking, the entitled attitude, the protection that he's had, all culminated, as well as him looking for the least path of resistance, all culminated in this loss to Usyk. Because again, I really do think he was looking for the least path of resistance in that fight with Usyk. He really tried to steal it instead of winning it, and it came back to bite him. Anyway, share your thoughts below. Beanie Guy Del Boy, peace.